Well, those are your latest headlines. Hello and welcome to France 24. I'm Louise Hannah. Romeo Langlois, France 24's correspondent who was freed by FARC rebels in Colombia on Wednesday, has touched down back in Paris on home turf. He flew in from Bogota. He arrived at Roissy-Charles de Gaulle Airport, where he was greeted by his parents, family and friends. Well, France 24's Eve Irvine is also there. I believe we can cross to her live. Eve, you were there when he saw his brother again for the first time and other friends. What was that like?
Well, it was strange in a way, such a happy occasion that passed off so quietly in a way. It was just this silence between even the journalists. We just heard the click of a few cameras.
That's right, Eve. He said that apparently the FARC told him that they're used to treating bullet wounds and not to worry about it. I'm not sure I'd take that advice myself. But no, it's interesting you say that he's on the way to the Élysée Palace afterwards. French President François Hollande has said that his release is a moment of great joy. I'm now joined on set by our international affairs editor, Annette Young. Hello, Annette. Annette, just recap for us how this story unfolded from the beginning to his release for us.
As we were just hearing, Romeo was doing actually a report for France 24. He was actually embedded with the Colombian military who were going in to effectively bust a Colombian, or rather a FARC supported cocaine lab. And it was fairly clear all along that they were going to release him, to the point that they actually gave him a gift of a camera when he was released. And being the journalist that he is, he whipped it out and started filming his own release. As we
believe Annette, he's just about to start talking. I don't know if we can perhaps show closer pictures of him. He's just, there we go. Absolutely. Well, as Annette was just saying, when Romeo was released, the first pictures we saw were of him smiling and filming the crowds who'd gathered to welcome him. Romeo later said that he had a strategy for staying positive and surviving. Well, let's just bring you up to date with some other world news now. The Syrian government says rebel fighters are to blame for the rows of dead children that prompted international outrage last week. Out with reckless optimism, in with healthy scepticism. The appeal of Burma's opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi to the international community. Well, it was less than a week ago that Tuareg rebels and the Islamist group Ansar Dine announced a surprise union in the north of Mali. And yet, it seems there's already trouble afoot. The secular Tuaregs say their alliance has hit a major stumbling block, mainly Ansar Dine's desire to impose Sharia law. Counting's underway in Ireland after people voted in a referendum on the European Union's fiscal treaty. Voters are having their say on whether they want their country's budget tied in more closely with others in the Eurozone. 4 days of talks between Quebec's government and student groups have failed to break the deadlock over tuition fees. Its Premier Jean Charest says he suspended negotiations aimed at ending 4 months of protests. Well, here in France, before the presidential election, Nicolas Sarkozy's government issued a decree saying that visa restrictions on foreign students working here in France needed to be tightened. But he, of course, was voted out, and the new government that was voted in is taking a totally different tack. Take a look. Do stay tuned. We're back in 20 minutes.